and welcome to the 6th season of Cooking with MFRD. I'm your host, Ashley McDonald, and we've got a great show lined up for you. We're going to be making Crockpot Fiesta Chicken with our friends from the TBI, Susan Niland, who is their Public Information Officer, and Special Agent in Charge, Melanie Garner. You're going to need to grab the following ingredients: 1.5 pounds of organic, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, a half a teaspoon of Simple Truth organic ground cumin, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 16-ounce jar of mild salsa, 1 15-ounce can of black beans drained, 1 cup of sweet corn drained, 1/3 cup of cilantro leaves chopped, a tablespoon of lime juice, half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. So welcome to the show, Susan and Melanie. So glad to have you guys here. I understand we're going to be making what is your recipe that you've made a few times or two. Is this Crockpot Fiesta Chicken. So kind of walk us through the process.
Sure. One of the reasons I like it is because it's easy and it's really good, and it's one of these things, you know, like a lot of things that you have in a crock pot, the longer it simmers, the better it gets. Yes. And it's literally one of these things where you can take your ingredients and dump them all together and walk away for a few hours, and you come back and it's lovely and it's warm, and it's like in this kind of fall and colder weather. It's something that really warms you, and it also will last a while. Usually we have it for dinner, and then you know you can pull it over into lunch for another day or two.
I like that.
Yeah.
Super easy. I'm all about super easy.
Yes.
Oh, I am too. I'm a baseball mom, so I have 3 boys, and it's a perfect recipe if you're out and about and you have to do something very quickly.
Absolutely. Well, I have 1 boy, and that's enough for me, so I applaud you for being able to have 3. So how do we get started with this, Susan?
Sure. It really is something where it's like a dump cake. You just throw it all in, and you start with chicken thighs.
Okay.
And I know that the recipe specifically that we used had called for organic this and organic that, and trust me, you don't have to have the organic if you don't let that be a deal breaker for you. But we use the chicken thighs. Also, my husband is more of a dark meat guy, so he likes the thighs. I'm more of a white meat, so I prefer chicken breasts. So you
I'm
can,
right there with you.
yeah, you can put whatever your preference is, and yeah, it's just like that. You just throw it in the bottom, but you do want to make sure that it covers the bottom so it gets nice and warm. And again, this is something where if you like a lot of chicken, you can add more to it. It's not something that's very precise at all. So whatever your preferences are, just mix it up to however it suits you and your family.
Okay, great.
So now that that's done, then you've got some spices. And again, precision is not really key here because it all melds together, and you know, it's a kind
Some
of
people like a little
guesstimate.
more of this, a little more of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what we do for that then is most of these are about a half of a teaspoon worth of these herbs. Okay. Let's just take that off, and since this is brand new, you want to dunk that in, yes.
Okay.
And so this is a half a teaspoon of.
I'm making it a
Wait, what is this guy?
half. Cumin.
This is cumin, yes. So again, if you're a little afraid of some of the spicy stuff, you may want to pull back on some of that. And it calls for cilantro. I know that's kind of a polarizing herb. People either love it or hate it.
Earlier. I'm not a big fan, but if there's only a little in it, I can handle it.
Right. Now the paprika is the one that's like a 1/4 of a teaspoon.
Okay.
So you want to put half of it.
It won't even let you get a half a teaspoon in there.
So again, just enough to make it a little bit
That looks about
show
like
itself. And then the salt.
Okay.
And I guess, okay, it does have a spout.
It does.
Okay, I'll let you do the honors since you
All right.
got that going on.
I'm a seasoning sister.
There you are.
All right.
Okay. So once you get all that in there, then you start with the other ingredients, which we've already opened the cans, so it makes it super easy.
Yes.
Again, the whole thing takes no time. Melanie, I don't know if you've got an arm's reach if you want to dump that in, but it's a can of black beans. And again, if your preference is another kind of bean, feel free to substitute that. The corn. Thank you.
Yeah, we've already drained both of these cans. It just looks so pretty,
It's beautiful.
right?
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
That means it's healthier when we have a lot of color in there.
Exactly.
So I hear.
And really, I'm no nutritionist, but I mean, what you're looking at is, you know, you've got vegetables and you have just, you know, the chicken,
Right.
a couple spices, and then you've got the salsa. Now, there is a little bit of cheddar cheese later, so
Well, that's your dairy. I mean,
there you go.
and your
I like the way
protein,
you look at that.
extra protein.
And then this is salsa. Again, the recipe that we had just happened to say mild, but a lot of people wanted a little spicier. So this is again where you can kind of use your own flavors and put in whatever you think is best for you and your family. Here's our friend cilantro. You said you're like sort of okay with that?
Sort of okay. Well,
So-
you know, I'm a firm believer. I mean, a lot of people are like, if it's even touched that thing I don't like, I won't eat any of the recipe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can pull it aside. I'm not
Well,
gonna,
I don't know that you can pull that.
I'm not
that
gonna.
aside.
I'm not gonna starve to death just because there's one item in the dish I don't like.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
And then we've got some lime. That's just to kind of make it a little bit spicy. Using my wrong hand here. And just to kind of put that in, squeeze that in and over everything.
And accentuate the cilantro.
Accentuate it.
And we give this a
Put
little bit
more.
of a stir,
Yes,
right?
you give it a stir. Now it's important to keep, again, while you stir it, to kind of mix everything up. You want to keep the chicken on the bottom and make sure
Sure.
that that's getting as warm as it needs to be.
Right.
And then the joy of that is then you put the lid on and you set it on low for four hours. And at the conclusion of that, and I think we're going to show at some point the finished product.
Yes.
We can pull the chicken out once it's been cooking for about 4 hours, and you take it out and shred it, which then kind of by that time it's going to be nice and moist and it's easy to shred. And some people prefer maybe to cut it up in cubes. Again, you can make it however
Sure.
you'd prefer to eat it or to cook it.
Okay, Susan, so while you're grabbing that crock pot with the finished product, which I'm so excited to try, we're going to go to a quick break and then we'll come back, we'll try that, and we'll chit-chat with you guys a little bit about what you do for TBI.
Sounds good.
We're back, so I understand Melanie's going to put a few finishing touches on the dish. And while we're doing that, Susan, tell me a little bit about what you do for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
Sure. My title is Public Information Officer, and that involves a lot of what you might think is we are often in touch. I have a couple colleagues across the state, and we inform the media when we have investigation or instances that they ask about. But we also do a lot of community interaction and really try to make ourselves as accessible as representatives of the agency as we can to
Sure.
the members of our community.
Absolutely. I know a little thing or two about being a PIO.
You
That's
do.
actually how we know each other.
It is.
So, Melanie, what do you do for the agency?
Currently, I am a special agent in charge of the training division. I've been with TBI for 18 years, so
Wow, okay.
from a very...
You started when you were like 10, right?
Good
I
girl,
love
Ashley.
you. I love you for saying that. But no, I started right out of college, but I've been in a number of different units. I worked in the crime lab and did violent crime response team work, and then I was in the, it's our child exploitation unit, but it's called the technical services unit,
Okay.
and did that for a number of years. And then previous to my job now, I did polygraph examinations.
Oh,
I'm still a
wow.
polygraph examiner, but I only do pre-employment now.
Now, do you use that on your 3 boys ever?
I've tried before.
Who did it?
but- I have tried before over peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but nobody will take the bait on that one. So
Too funny. Here, I'll help you out.
So we had already shredded a lot of the chicken, but when you get to the 4-hour stage, then you pull the chicken out and you can shred it or cube it or however you prefer it to be. Mix it up again, and then that's when you get to as Ashley put it, put our dairy product in. The cheese, it calls for a half a cup of cheese, but you can put as much or as little as you like according, again, to your specific tastes. And the great thing about this is that you can eat it as is. You can use get a tortilla and use it for filling as a tortilla. Then you can doctor it up again as much as you want if you want to put some other tomatoes or guac or sour cream in it. My husband likes to have it on top of rice. So again, it's however you best want to use it, but it's just one of those really great dishes for, when the weather gets cold and you just really want to kind of stay in and do minimal work, which is usually me in the kitchen. So this is just the perfect recipe, so it gets a lot of rotation at our house.
Okay, so I'm gonna plate some of this up for us, and if you guys want to share maybe some of the programs that TBI has going on that our viewers might be interested in.
Sure. The training division offers a number of different academies throughout the year. Two of the really important programs that we do are our Citizens Academy and our internship program. The Citizens Academy, we do that in Knoxville and Nashville.
Okay.
And the one in Knoxville is in March, and the one in Nashville is in May. And it's a 4-week Tuesday night program that we run that informs them of everything that we do as much as we can. It's really fun, and it gives them a good opportunity to see what we do and how we do it, and connect with the community.
Sure.
Because we want to be transparent with the community. So
absolutely. That's key.
It's essential, and we rely on the community for tips and all sorts of information. So it's good to have that kind of connection.
Now, where can they find out more information about these programs that you guys offer?
We have a lot of information on our website, which is tn.gov/TBI.
Okay.
And if you go to where it has the different units under training, it will give you a description of some of the offerings that we have, and along with an application form if anyone's interested in that. And kind of segueing from that, I also wanted to mention too, from a public information perspective, we have a lot of information that lives on our website that people might be interested in, who have any kind of inclination in learning more about crime across the state or different programs. Again, on our website, there's a section that says, I want to, and there's a drop-down bar. And if you want to look at publications, we have different crime statistic publications that we release every year. They live on the website, so you can click on the year you're interested in. It kind of walks you through.
Oh, great.
We also have information there about, our agency will post the top 10 most wanted list as we have fugitives that other agencies from across the state are interested in capturing quickly. And the community is always really responsive in passing the word on and retweeting and sharing it. So that's really helpful. And on our website, we have a list of the current fugitives. Same thing with any kind of endangered children or Amber Alerts. Again, time is usually of the essence in those things. And so people can, if you hear an Amber Alert but you want to know more information, you can go to our website, and there's a pretty bold photo where you can go to that and find out more about current or even past cases that have been resolved.
That's great.
We also have the sex offender registry that is on there, and I know a lot of times around for Halloween in October, some parents I know have expressed some interest in finding out more of the people in their neighborhood, and you can go down there and look to see, put in an address and see what your neighborhood looks like. And since we're coming up on Christmas too, a lot of people are going to be doing some online shopping. I think a lot of people are geared towards more kind of consumer type of activity.
Absolutely.
And crime is so bad with cybercrime and phone calls. I'm sure we've all gotten these calls.
Yes, robo
a lot of times, right? And we at TBI, we get them. We get them at our agency. They will call the TBI phone and try to scam us. And
obviously, they don't know who you are.
They don't. They really don't care. It's just, I think, a rotating number.
Sure.
And so we always encourage people to don't engage. The best practice is when you get these calls, don't engage. Some of them will even say, if you want to be off of our list, hit 1, just hang up. That's the best way.
It never works.
It doesn't work. Right. And these people that are making these calls, they want to get your money, and it's all about volume. They're going to keep calling. You don't know where they are. Some of them aren't even in this country. So it's very difficult to prosecute. So it's a much better plan. If you do get any of these calls, just hang up.
Oh, absolutely. We had a personal case of this within my family. And we're trying to get the word out as best that we can to everybody that we know. Look, this happened to one of our family members, and it's a real thing, and they can get you for a lot of money, and you'll never get that back. Because it's just too hard to press the charges. Who are you going to charge if you don't know who they are,
And unfortunately, oftentimes we'll get it at the back end. Somebody says, I think that I've been a victim. It's like somebody who you don't know who is friending you on some of the social media platforms, and then asking for money or pretending that they're a grandchild of yours that is in desperate need, or a neighbor, and please send money right away. And they try to press you, and they try to get you to act immediately. And again, a lot of people want to help. People by nature want to help, and especially if they think it's somebody in need or who they know. But that's what these scammers do. They prey on that.
They do.
And we just want people to, nobody's going to give you $1 million from a prince in Africa. That's not going to happen. Bill Gates is not giving away boatloads of money.
Right.
And you can't get a 0% interest rate from somebody who's just calling you and wants, oh, by the way, to have your credit card number.
Right.
So make sure that, again, if you get involved, don't give them any personal information, but the best practice, like we've said, is just to hang up and don't engage them at all.
I don't even answer if I don't recognize the number. Somebody's just going to have to leave me a voicemail, and I'm going to have to get back to them.
Is that why you're not calling me back?
Sorry. I think I plugged you in now, Susan. So I'm smelling this amazing dish. I think it's cooled off enough for us to try.
And it's been blending together for several hours, so it's all good and blended and spicy.
So bon appetit.
Very good.
It's so good for fall. I just love this.
It is amazing.
And super easy for busy moms. If you have sporting events, after school activities, if you're a working mom, you really don't have time to plan a huge meal. So this is something very quick that you can do, easy, and you feed your family.
And there is just this guide cleanup. You don't have a lot of these other cups that you have to use to clean afterwards.
And those Crockpot liners are a godsend. I mean, I know you didn't use one,
it.
But we used one on the one we made today. But I love them because you can just take them right on out and throw them in the trash.
Even better.
But this is so good. Thank you guys so much for being on the show today.
Here. Absolutely.
Thank you.
If you would like the recipe from today's show, visit www.murfreesborotn.gov/cooking with MFRD. You can also check out our episodes on Facebook and the city's YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.